Welcome back to Jay's Oracle. I'm your host, Jay's Oracle. So let's see. This is going to be a new thing I'm doing now. I'm incorporating a new spread. It is the Jay's O spread. It's sort of a work in progress. This is sort of experimental, and since Capricorn is cardinal, we're going to trailblaze with the cardinal earth sign, and you're going to be the first one that I'm doing this Jay's O spread episode for. So I did do sort of an introduction to what this spread is, so I will go ahead and I will play that now. Welcome to the Jay's Oracle O spread introduction. So this spread is similar to a zodiac spread or a horoscope spread, except for the proprietariness of Jay's. It's going to be the cards in the middle. The middle card inside of the O is not a significator in the Jay's O spread, as well as the root card, the bottom card. The middle card is the advice card, and then the root card is the card that has some kind of an association with the spread. It's not necessarily a shadow card. It's not necessarily subliminal, unconscious, subconscious card, because the 12th house deals with what's hidden. So the root card is, I'm going to call it like I call it on the other spreads, the root card, because it has a connection deep down to the rest of it, not necessarily hidden or unconscious. So let's have some explanation of the Jay's O spread. In this spread, 12 cards are laid out in a circle, and each card corresponds to one of the 12 houses of the astrological chart. A 13th card is the advice card and is placed in the center. And then the root, the bottom card of the deck, is placed next to the advice card. House 1 begins at the 9 o'clock position, and the cards are dealt counterclockwise. Each house refers to a specific area of life, thus the cards are read in reference to the house in which they fall. This spread is not generally used to answer specific questions. It provides an overview of the person's life at the time of the reading. The querent's sun sign or birth chart are not factors in a reading that uses this spread. So let's look at the houses. Let's look at the positions. The first house, the self. The first house refers to the physical body and appearance, as well as the querent's vitality, identity, sense of self, and the immediate impression he makes on others. The second house, personal resources. The second house shows what the querent considers valuable. This includes money, personal possessions, resources, earning ability, and the person's identification with what he owns. The third house, the near environment. The third house covers 3 areas of life that at first may not seem related, but taken together represent normal daily life. What astrologers call the near environment. Communications related to the routine of everyday life. Involvement with friends, neighbors, siblings, and the community at large. And short distance travel in one's near environment. The fourth house, roots. The fourth house represents the foundation of one's life, home, family, parents, especially the mother, tradition, heritage, the past, one's homeland, in short, the querent's roots. The fifth house, self-expression. The fifth house shows the querent's creative and self-expressive side, which may play out as artistic endeavors, romantic relationships, hobbies and amusements, or children. The sixth house, health and service. The sixth house relates to health, health-oriented routines, including nutrition and exercise, and the link between work and health. It also describes the querent's daily work or chores, duties, job-oriented relationships, service to others, and the capacity for self-sacrifice. The 7th house, one-on-one relationships. Traditionally the house of marriage and partnerships, the 7th represents all one-on-one relationships, business and personal, including relationships with enemies. The 8th house, transformation. The 8th is the house of the past, transformative change, death, inheritance, and other people's resources. In this case, death usually refers to the end of something old so that something new can emerge. The 8th house always shows how another's resources affect you. The 9th house, higher knowledge. The 9th house represents the higher mind, philosophy, religion, spirituality, the law, and advanced education, as well as long-distance travel, especially to foreign lands. This house shows the querent's search for meaning and how he goes about expanding his horizons. The 10th house, life task. The 10th house represents social or professional status, career, public image, and parents, the father especially. Authority, responsibilities, honor, and reputation are 10th house matters too. The 11th house, friendships. The 11th house refers to the querent's friends and groups with which he is affiliated. Goals, hopes, and wishes are shown by this house too. The 12th house, the hidden realm. The 12th house represents that which is hidden or not yet revealed, including our dreams and fantasies. It also reveals the querent's latent talents, as well as fears, weaknesses, secrets, and unknown enemies. Because matters associated with this sector are often unknown to us, the house is sometimes connected with self-undoing. Okay, Capricorn, so in the first house position, you got the Fool reversed. So as a reminder, the first house is about identity. This is you, your personality, your physicality, how you look. The associations with the first house is fire, wands, Aries, and Mars. And so for this house, you got the Fool reversed, which is the time for independent action may not be right. You must discriminate between your personal fantasies of going off on an adventure or chucking it all for a new track and reality. The advice given to people who want to become writers or artists may apply here. Don't quit your day job. This is not to say that what you want to do is invalid, only that you must consider all of the pros and cons carefully. So as far as the first house goes, you are looking like someone who this whatever you're trying to do might not be the right time for independent action. You need to discriminate between your personal fantasies and reality. Interesting. So for the next placement in the O spread, it's the second house. And as a reminder, the second house is associated with resources. This is your self-worth, your possessions, your money, and how you earn it. It's associated with Earth, Pentacles, Taurus, and Venus. And you got the 7 of Pentacles, which is about receiving the benefits that are due to you, realizing the legitimate gain that you have earned by your hard work. Like a farmer harvesting crops that he has nurtured through bad weather, you are reaping what you've sown. The harvest may still be a ways off, however, so keep tending your fields. You've put in the time and effort and paid your dues. Now you will gain in your business or other enterprise. Not only that, but you also feel great satisfaction from a job well done. Growth and good fortune are yours, well earned. So that's really good news regarding your resources and your self-worth, your possessions, and your money. In the next placement, the third house, which is communication and knowledge, what you know, your early learning style, your siblings, your neighbors, your short or routine journeys, your environment. It's associated with air, swords, Gemini, Mercury. And you got the Chariot, which says victory is assured. Things are moving fast and transition is occurring rapidly. You are holding things together successfully, uniting opposite energies to stay on track. This is a situation where you are completely, totally involved, and happily so. Whatever task is at hand can be accomplished, though the pace is faster than usual. You are attuned to the rhythm of it and keeping up with the changes that are happening at your job, in a relationship, or in some community or worldly involvement. You are sensitive to the minor adjustments you must constantly make to keep things going in the right direction. So that's really good news for communication and knowledge, as well as routine journeys. And for the next placement, it's the fourth house. That is home and family. This is where you live, your attachments, your roots, your structure, your history, your domestic life, and your emotional security. It's associated with water, cups, Cancer, and the moon. You got the Two of Swords, which shows a blindfold woman holding two swords crossed over her breasts with a crescent moon above and the ocean behind her. The card represents a situation in which it appears impossible to move forward, because you can't figure out with logic or intellect how to proceed. You must rely on blind faith that the universe will handle things. This card indicates stasis. You may be maintaining the situation in a state of balance by ignoring the underlying tension that exists. This is an uncomfortable position to be in, but you aren't ready to do anything about it yet. You need to speak up and communicate about the circumstances involved. Eventually, however, change must take place, for the continued tension is unbearable. Choice is available. Remove the blindfold and look honestly at the situation. And if you look at the card, all she has to do is remove the blindfold, stand up and look behind her, and she could see different locations she could possibly go to. So for your home and family, you have difficult choices to deal with, which would sort of make sense right now, because it's a weird time right now and people are trying to figure out which direction to go in. And home and family life sometimes doesn't help with that realization. So in the fifth position, the fifth house, you got the Hanged One. And as a review here, the fifth house is creativity and children, the things we give birth to and take risks on. This is where we play, fall in love, and create. It's associated with fire, wands, Leo, and the sun. You are suspended between the past and the future. A new direction for your life is in the making. It is a time for a new perspective. Look at things from a different angle to make necessary readjustments. You need to make a clean break with the past and concentrate on becoming spiritually attuned. Readjustment is needed, but the good news is that there's no hurry. Take your time and make the right decisions about where you truly want to take your life at this time and for the long term. Pay attention to your inner development and be prepared to dance to a different drummer in the future. So you need to take some time out, meditate, clear your mind, and perhaps change direction or be open to adjustments in creativity, because we all have a creative aspect to ourselves, and whatever work we're doing, creativity comes into play sooner or later. So the Hanged One represents taking time out and meditating and figuring out exactly where you want to go and look at things from a different perspective. And for the sixth placement, the sixth house, you got the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, okay? The sixth house is work and service. This is your health and habits, your responsibilities, the mundane work that you do and those who do work for you. It's associated with Earth, Pentacles, Virgo, and Mercury. The Three of Swords is a card of severance, signifying separation and sorrow, perhaps the end of a love relationship. However, there is the sense that the separation or breakup was needed. A relationship or alliance had outworn its usefulness, and although there is sorrow or regret, the end result is positive. This card can also mean you feel isolated and cut off from something you love, a way of life, your home and family, a philosophy, pursuit, or job. You are feeling the pain of separation right now, quite possibly in the area of love. Sometimes this card can signify a love triangle. A third party has entered into the formerly stable situation that caused the breakup, but it was ready to happen anyway. It's time to let go. Whatever has died must be allowed to disintegrate within your psychic structure. Don't try to hold on to the past, Capricorn. So I think this has to do with possibly a job or work. Either you have left a job has left you, or it's about to happen. So get ready for that. Be prepared for that. This also could have to do with a love relationship, but also your health and habits. So if you've been eating too many chocolate chip cookies, Capricorn, you got to stop that shit because it's messing you up. So the seventh placement is the seventh house, which has to do with relationships. This is where you interact with others and how. Committed romantic or business partnerships and openly declared enemies are represented here. Associations are with air, swords, Libra, and Venus. And you got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. You are holding back your own destiny by your refusal to make the necessary changes or take the required actions. Refusing to set things in motion is causing stagnation and frustration. Although you rationalize the fact that you are standing still, you are uncomfortable with the situation. You think you are waiting for the propitious time, but fear of the unknown is blocking you. You may be fantasizing about what you want to do, but you have to take action before anything can happen. You may experience delays in your projects because of lack of commitment. Ask the universe to show you the way and fearlessly follow the direction you are given. It's time to quit being wishy-washy and get on with what you already know you need to do. So this could be in relation to, the sixth house with work, employment, a job, and or a love relationship, because we have romantic relationships with people. We have work relationships with people. We have relationships with enemies. So you need to pay attention here. I think that Hanged Man in the other house, if you can help look at things through a different perspective, it might help you deal with the seventh house situation. So the next placement is the eighth placement, the eighth house. And the eighth house is associated with tough stuff. This house represents the things we don't want to talk about: death, taxes, inheritances. It's also joint resources, other people's money, sex, and transformation. It's associated with water, cups, Scorpio, and Pluto. And you got the Sun. So generally considered a positive card, the Sun relates to energy, vitality, confidence, success, and good times. It signifies a time of new beginnings, of things going well, of accomplishment, success, and contentment. You feel cheerful and self-confident, full of life and vitality, ready to undertake new projects and make changes for the better. Whatever you are planning, you feel a great deal of enthusiasm for it and aren't worried about the outcome. You may be starting more than one project or upgrading something in your life, such as moving to a better paying, more satisfying job, remodeling your home, or moving to a sunnier climate. The appearance of the Sun in a reading can foreshadow a reward for your previous striving and suffering with a day at the beach. The sun card can indicate you are going to take a wonderful vacation in the sun where you can relax and let go of your worries. That's a pretty good card to get for the 8th house, which is the tough stuff. So that's pretty good. That's something to look forward to. And in the 9th placement, the 9th house, which is associated with expansion and beliefs. This house is about expanding your mind, your horizons, your knowledge, and your beliefs. It's religion, philosophy, travel, adventure, law, and the learning we do because we want to. It's associated with fire, wands, Sagittarius, and Jupiter. You got strength. You are struggling. You have come through severe trials and triumphed. You have found your deep inner strength, and it will see you through whatever comes your way. You are firmly connected to the instinctual world represented by the lion, and you are able to make friends with it and control it for your own benefit and that of others. Your positive connection to your animal self will protect and care for you. Your inner drives are in harmony with your outer needs, and your instinctive nature is supporting all that you do or hope to do. At this time, your logical mind, if it is in conflict with your intuition, is not as important in making decisions as is what you feel to be right for you. Whatever decisions you make or actions you take will be successful. So that's great because you have a lot of strength to deal with, let's say, travel or going on an adventure or the law. So that's good news. Good news there. Good energy. So for the next placement, the 10th placement is the 10th house, which has to do with career. This is your career, your reputation, you in the world, your public persona, your social responsibilities. It's associated with Earth, Pentacles, Capricorn, and Saturn. You got the 4 of Pentacles for the 10th house, which indicates a security-conscious person who's holding on tight to money and material possessions. You may fear that loss is in the offing and are trying to prepare yourself by closely guarding what you have. Or you may simply be overly cautious and conservative in financial areas. You are hanging on to something, either your possessions or situation, in a stubborn and inflexible manner. Fear of change may be involved, or you may merely be comfortable where you are. Your fixed attitude, however, may be limiting you and blocking new opportunities for success and happiness. All that is true, all that is possible. And since it's your 10th house and it's your career, this is why there could be heartbreak involved with breaking up with where you're at. You might need to use that Hanged One different perspective to see that you might need to move on to a different career. You might need to let go. You might be holding on too strongly to what you already have. You might need to let go of that and go on a new adventure in a new career. But at the same time, Capricorn, I'm going to tell you this. It's a really strange time right now. And especially, I'm broadcasting out of the West Coast in America. It might be less strange in other places around the world, but in America it's very strange right now. And day by day, shock and awe continues to take place in the political sphere that also affects the career sphere and work and job sphere. So don't be too hard on yourself for holding on to your current career. Use that Hanged One time wisely and try to figure out and determine, utilizing a different perspective, the right road to go, because it is a strange time right now. And for the 11th placement, the 11th house, which is associated with friends and community, here we find your hopes and dreams, your friends, your associations, and your social life. It's associated with air, swords, Aquarius, and Uranus. And you got the Ace of Cups, which is associated with a fountain of love or the Holy Grail. The ace represents a gift, in this case a gift of love, of a personal or divine nature. The Ace of Cups indicates a new beginning, a new love, or a one-on-one relationship of any kind. Previously unfelt emotions come into play now, perhaps as a result of seeing a relationship in a new way. This ace can also herald the birth of a child or an idea. This is a fertile time for emotional or creative growth, as this ace symbolizes the consummation of something hoped for. So that's pretty good in your friends and community sphere. There could be a friend that's been close to you that could be your next new love, or a friend that's been close to you or in your community that is the beginning of a new direction in your career in life. So keep that in mind. So for the 12th placement, the final placement, the 12th house, sorry about that, Capricorn. You just witnessed it. You just witnessed this thing that's been plaguing me for more than 4 weeks. It's ridiculous. So be careful out there. It's a weird time. The air's weird. So let's get back to this. The 12th house, the final placement. It is the house of secrets and undoing. Okay. This is us in private. It's the things we keep locked away in the closet, the things that bring us undone. It's also karmic lessons, spirituality, where we escape in what we know subconsciously. It's associated with water, cups, Pisces, and Neptune. Okay, and you got the moon for the 12th house. Okay, the moon says that you are aware of the need to tune into your lunar energies. You are now perceiving the reality of your inner nature more clearly, becoming more aware of the shadings and nuances of feelings and inner perceptions. The moon also suggests psychic ability. You can tune into other people's vibrations because you are connected to the information network of the invisible world. Pay attention to hunches and dreams. This is also a good time to develop your psychic skills. So these are the secrets that we keep to ourselves. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to these experiences you might be encountering that seem like synchronicities. And how could you possibly know it? Well, you could possibly know it because every human being has psychic abilities that are latent and dormant. So let's take a look at the advice. So for your advice, Capricorn, you got the Page of Cups. This page signifies a young person, male or female, possibly a son, daughter, or younger sibling, who is bringing you a message about love. It might mean an engagement or a wedding, some situation that holds an inherent emotional risk. The circumstances may be exciting yet scary at the same time, as with a sudden elopement. Often the page suggests naivete or vulnerability, especially in matters of the heart. If the card represents the Querent, it says you have already decided to take an emotional risk and aren't interested in being dissuaded. You are willing to give it your all and feel things will work out. So your advice is to, I would say, definitely acknowledge and tap into your emotional body and your emotions and see where that leads you, because you might need to make an emotional connection in order to either get a message, or you will be getting an emotional message from someone. So now the final card here in the J's O spread that you got is the root card, the root energy. This is not necessarily hidden or subconscious energy, because that's really what the 12th house is. This is the root energy. So this does have an association. It could be a deeper down aspect, an association of this whole situation. And you got the 5 of Cups, which signifies that you are brooding over past wrongs, losses, disappointments, or hurts. It symbolizes a state of mind that is dwelling on a painful past and refusing to look forward to a positive future. Your unhappiness is a result of your attitude, which can change. You can change it. This is a card of choice. You can continue to brood over what went wrong, or you can turn around and contemplate what can go right in the future. You don't have to be miserable unless you enjoy misery. So I think that there's a strong root energy here that has to do with loss and dwelling on that loss. But the thing is, Capricorn, you still have 2 cups behind you, and all you have to do is turn around and see that there is a future. It's just possibly in a different direction, doing something else. So I just want to say thank you very much for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Please share my show. Please tell others about my show. I'm going to continue to work on this spread. This is sort of a newer spread. It's sort of experimental. Cardinal Capricorn is leading the way, trailblazing once again. But thank you, and I'll see you next time.